David, supporters will be well aware that the Dale Supporters Trust have called for an EGM. Can you update us on that situation and where we are at present?
Yeah, I can. We've actually had a meeting with the Supporters Trust this week. And following that meeting, we actually spoke to our legal representatives to ask if they would speak to the Supporters Trust and explain the situation. And we did that yesterday. I did that yesterday. And the Supporters Trust spoke with our legal people to just give them some advice on the law of the land regarding the Companies Act. And then obviously the Supporters Trust put out a statement last night, a little bit inflammatory, because the truth of the situation is that we're not trying in any shape or form to not hold that EGM that they've requested, but the request that they make has to comply with both the Articles of Association of Rochdale Association Football Club, our constitution, and the law of the land regarding the Companies Act. So by networking them with our solicitors, we were trying to help in giving them legal advice. I know that they're working closely with the Football Supporters Association, but to give them advice so that they can come to us with a properly worded request for an EGM that actually complies with the law of the land. So that's merely all we were trying to do, is trying to help and trying to work with them. And as they've said in their statement, they are working with their lawyers and the Football Supporters Association legal team to actually find the right resolution. And that is exactly how it should be.
Is there a time scale at the moment as to when the AGM could take place?
Yeah, I think the AGM will take place. Legally, we have to call an AGM by the 7th of May or give 21 days notice. The reason that we haven't done so far is genuinely everybody at this football club on the board is working extremely hard in conversations at this moment with potential outside investors. We have been down this route before. Everybody knows that this football club has done an amazing job in 114 years of not only surviving but thriving, of being solvent. 27th of August this year, we celebrate 100 unbroken years membership of the English Football League. But we want this football club to go forward. We are, again, down at Wimbledon on Tuesday night. The people at Wimbledon couldn't believe that we don't have our own training ground, given how old we are as a club. And all those things that go to want to make this football club a successful football club that thrives and not only survives but thrives. So we've had NDAs in place with a number of parties. We're hopefully very close to be able to putting a deal together that we can present to our shareholders that will be acceptable to say these are the people who want to get involved in Rochdale Football Club. They have the club at heart as we do, and they want to take the club forward in the right direction. And so the reason for quite a lot of silence in the last few weeks, and I accept communication could have been better, is down to the fact that we're involved in very sensitive negotiations with people to actually want to come forward and get involved in this absolutely wonderful football club.
As you said, there are non-disclosure agreements in place and you can't say too much at this moment in time, but are you hopeful of a positive conclusion from those discussions and talks?
Yeah, I hope so, genuinely. It's been an open secret that for 2.5 years the board have been looking for the right partner to take the club forward with regards to outside investment. And there are lots of people around at the moment who want to buy football clubs. The world is quite strange in that regard, that almost daily there are people inquiring. But as the Football League will tell you, there's a difference between looking at a bank statement and somebody's got money, but how they generate that. And the tests now involved with the Football League are getting harder and harder, quite rightly so, because nobody ever wants to see a situation like a Bury or a Bolton or a Wigan again. And so the Football League are being very, very strict in terms of how they're monitoring and how they would allow a potential takeover of any club to go through.
We're also due to host or hold an AGM. Are you able to provide an update on when an AGM might be held?
Yeah, I genuinely think by the beginning of June, because we hope in the next 7 days to actually put out a notification calling an AGM, and we have to give 21 days notice. So hopefully very, very soon.
Looking ahead, normally at this time of the season tickets would be on sale for next year. Of course, they aren't at the moment, and we've not yet communicated any information to supporters. What's the latest on season tickets?
Well, the latest is that, like the other 71 clubs in the Football League, we're all probably holding off until the 21st of June, if we're being honest, because there is contradictory statements being made. Boris Johnson and his cabinet and the government are making statements that the world may be back to normal in the UK by the 21st of June. But the public health authorities and the safety advisory groups are saying you need to hang on. So we're working on 4 plans at the moment. One is no crowds on the 7th of August. One is 25% crowds. One is 50% crowds. And the last one is 100% crowds. But if we wait till the 21st of June, which is the last day of the government's roadmap, it would then still give us 6-7 weeks before the start of the season to sell season tickets. So we're trying to do the best for everybody and make sure that we have a plan. What we don't want to do is sell season tickets now and then have to go back to people and say, I'm sorry, you can't have that seat because we're back with a COVID plan, etc. So that's why we're holding off as long as possible to provide a situation that would be almost 100% guarantee that if you paid your money and bought a season ticket, if we're at home on the 7th of August, you could turn up and you'll be watching football again back at the Crown Oil Arena.
You've been involved in almost weekly meetings at the moment with the EFL and its clubs across League One and across the other divisions. Is that a sort of belief shared by everyone that they might hold off until June?
Yeah, everybody from Accrington to Portsmouth are doing the same thing. And everybody in League One certainly is saying, why would we go out before the 21st of June to create an administration headache and frustrate fans? Nobody wants to frustrate fans. And so I'm sorry for a bit of silence on season tickets, but we don't want to frustrate anybody either.
Yep. This weekend marks our final home game of the season, and it's a huge game for everyone at the football club. What we do to have supporters here on Saturday backing the players.
Oh, it would be amazing. I mean, I thought again at Wimbledon on Tuesday night how wonderful that game would have been to have had fans of both clubs there, because the product on offer was brilliant. Skill and endeavour and passion, commitment, great goals and all those things. And we would be great tomorrow to have a crowd behind us when we play Doncaster Rovers, because you never know what happens with Rochdale, do you? You can't write the script sometimes, but if we can go out and beat Doncaster tomorrow, and hopefully take it to the last game of the season, it gives us a chance.
676 fans bought an IFollow pass for Tuesday night's game, which was by far our biggest sales of the season. A huge thank you to each and every one of them.
Absolutely. A massive thank you to everybody who supported us with IFollow this year. It's a vital source of income. There are moves afoot that IFollow may even continue if we were back to 100% crowds, but all that's going to be decided in the next few months. But yeah, again, IFollow sales are very much with the Football League mirror image of crowds at this time of the year. And when you're either doing well or you're in a critical situation, people tend to get behind the teams and support them. We saw that. I mean, 676 is amazing. It's our best away sale of the season, and thank you to everybody who took part, because the figure that we negotiated with Wimbledon was significantly lower than that. And so therefore, the contribution that helps towards things like the team's overnight cost away at Wimbledon is fantastic. So thank you very much for supporting it.
And just one final question. We'll be switching off our social media channels at 3 p.m. today as we unite with everyone else across the Football League and across English sport as we back the social media boycott. Huge steps to hopefully making something happen against the absolute terrible abuse that players receive abuse this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're 100% behind it at this football club. It's terrible. Social media is getting vindictive, nasty, horrible, and any racism of any description is completely abhorrent and should not be tolerated by anybody in society, as well as other forms of abuse on social media. And, I can say nobody goes out, no footballer ever goes out to play badly or miss a goal. And the way that people get vilified and criticised, it's just amazing. And I think, people stop and think while there's a social media blackout in the next few days about how they can help by, putting down people who post vile and horrible things online that have got no place in a society that should respect each other.
Do you hope the fact that everyone is coming together for this action will send messages to these social media companies that more must be done?
Yeah, I hope so, because they're almost alone to themselves, aren't they? They're allowing it to go on whilst raking in huge profits from the fact that people are on social media. So I hope that they will take notice and actually put steps in place to monitor in a far better way than they have been doing in the past, abuse via their channels.